A whole documentary on why everything in 2026 is gay as fuck. Love Remnant.
Why is it that the left loves to claim characters to be gay, to be trans, to be anti-ICE?
Bro, seeing people on Twitter post things like Pikachu says trans rights, Paimon says trans rights is just about the most insufferable thing on the internet. It's so fucking irritating.
Or to be left-wing in general. Didn't you know, chuds? This character's actually gay because I said so.
Yeah, this person, you know, one of the funniest things ever is, let's pull this up. So a lot of people like to say that Spider-Gwen, or whatever the fuck her name is, Gwen Stacy, is trans because allegedly she has a trans flag in her room and her outfit is pink, blue, and white, just like the trans flag, right? And they're saying that the creators of the movie are trying to represent trans rights by having the same color palette as this flag. But they're forgetting one thing. There's another character in this movie by the name of Miles Morales, and his color palette is black, red, and white. And you know what flag is black, red, and white? The fucking Nazi flag. So I don't know about all that, right? Because you can't pick and choose. You got to take both, right? You got to take both. So you got to figure out which side we're on here.
Fellas, I need to address the elephant in the room. A while ago, I made a video talking about this exact same subject, so why the heck am I talking about it again? Well, it is because I was wrong, and the truth is far more fascinating than I initially thought it was.
Interesting.
Nothing that's happening here is new whatsoever, and it's certainly not mutually exclusive to people on the left. But it's been happening for thousands of years. I realized all of this from a single Twitter post. The post read, I already saw homophobic/transphobic venerator players, and all I gotta say is we are claiming him for us.
You know, I was gonna say you have to be such a fag to post something like this, and then I realized, oh yeah, they are.
He belongs to us gay people now. He's gay, he has an ex-boyfriend, and visits gay bars. You. Deadlock is not for the bigots. And this puzzled me at first, like, what do you mean by that? You can't just claim something's yours and...
What?
Wait a minute.
What?
It's actually true. You can claim characters as your own. Not only that, but it extends to so much more. Symbols and words itself. And everybody's been doing this for such a long time. Ultimately, in the end, you realize one thing. Truth doesn't matter. What matters is power. Let me explain.
No, that's a very fair statement, and I already love where this video is going to. The truth doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what you can get people to believe. And that's unfortunately the biggest power dynamic that larger content creators have on smaller content creators. It's very true. You know, Muji would call these people predators who do that.
The year is 723, and Germany at the time is full of Germanic pagans. These pagans had a sacred tree known as Donner's or Thor's Oak. Many of the Germanic pagans would worship at this site, doing rituals and sacrifices in honor of Thor, which the Christians didn't take a liking to. And as a result, St. Boniface took up an axe and cut down Thor's oak to show the powerlessness of the Germanic gods and to demonstrate the power of Christianity. And it goes even further, as legend says, in its place, a fir tree grew and later became a symbol of the Christmas tree. So let's recap. What exactly happened here? Through sheer force and power, the Christians took a pagan symbol and transformed it into a Christian symbol. Because again, we have to remind ourselves, truth doesn't really matter. It's about power. Ask yourself, is the legend actually true that a fir tree grew in its place and then that later became the Christian symbol of the Christmas tree? Probably not. But it doesn't change the fact that the fir tree is widely accepted as a Christian symbol, and the destruction of Thor's oak did inspire it. People believe it and see it as such. It is now
Holy fuck, this is crazy.
a Christian symbol. The origins of the tree and the truth, it really doesn't matter. It's a secondary concern here. Quick disclaimer, I'm not giving a prescription on what we ought to do, but I'm simply giving a description of what I see. Now let's go back to this tweet. Venerator is gay. He has an ex-boyfriend and visits gay bars. Is this true? Absolutely not. But it doesn't matter at the end of the day. What matters is if people widely accept it to be true and view him in that light. That's all that matters. Nothing else.
That's true.
Let me give you another example. The inverted cross. Culturally in America, it is a satanic symbol, it is a death metal symbol, and it is used to represent rebellion. They took the symbol of the cross, which symbolized
I mean, look at Call Me Carson. He didn't do anything pedophilic, but everybody called him a pedophile, and his entire career got fucking obliterated because that's what people believed. Even though if people looked into it for 1 second, even grokked it, they would dispel it. People don't think to do that. Even though information's at our fingertips, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Christianity and turned it upside down as a symbol to rebel against Christianity. Makes logical sense. It's seen that way in spite of the fact that the inverted cross is historically speaking a Christian symbol. It's the cross of St. Peter. It already existed as a Christian symbol, so how could this happen? The cross of St. Peter is much more widely recognized by Catholics and the Orthodox. America, however, is primarily dominated by Protestantism, which is for the most part oblivious to the cross of St. Peter. Therefore, when Satanists took the Christian symbol and inverted it upside down as a sign of disrespect and rebellion, it worked. Because of people's ignorance of the cross of St. Peter, it was accepted and converted into a satanic symbol of rebellion and opposition. Because again, what matters at the end of the day isn't the facts, isn't the origins of a symbol. It is just what people believe to be true. The same way with the tweet, it doesn't matter if the character is actually gay or goes to gay bars. No, none of that matters. It's about the power and influence.
I mean, I can tell you right now why this guy's not gay. It's because he doesn't look like a fucking gay man. This guy just looks like a fucking butch serial killer. Nothing about this screams gay at all. He has had no gay interactions at all. But it's crazy how these people's delusions are becoming reality because they screech it from the rooftops and attack anybody who disagrees with them. It's freaky as fuck.
None of that matters. It's about the power and influence, the presence they have in the fandom. And this is something that
Bro, gay and trans people have such huge power on Twitter because they're quote unquote marginalized in real life and they're fucking tired of it. So they go on Twitter and they all group together like rabid fucking dogs and they attack anybody on the internet because they're insecure about their interactions in real life.
Left is very conscious of. This is something that they're always focusing on. The idea that if just enough people believe something is true, then it becomes reality. For example, the Bladensburg Cross Memorial. Atheists petitioned and tried to get that cross removed on the grounds that there is separation between church and state. This is a public memorial that has a Christian symbol. They wanted to get rid of that. However, to nobody's shock, it failed. They essentially got told to go f themselves. So as a result, the Satanic Temple was pretty upset, which, keep in mind, is an atheistic organization. In response to this, they decided to meet up to do an atheistic ritual, where they would claim the cross as a symbol of Satan.
I don't know what these people are even trying to do. I feel like worshiping Satan is just like not a good call. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like what do you think you're getting out of that doesn't really seem like the play. Like maybe you like didn't have a good relationship with like your parents or something, or maybe you're just trying to be edgy, but like doesn't really seem like the play, you know? Like, it really doesn't seem like the play.
How? How do they do this? On what authority do they have to change an already existing symbol? They operate under the principle, and there's quite a bit of truth to it, that something just becomes true if it's widely accepted enough, especially since they don't believe that objective truth or
They worship themselves, so it's just a bunch of self-obsessed egomaniacs who want to seem cool and different? Okay, gotcha.
reality actually exists. Truth can be whatever you want it to be. But once again, it failed because they don't have that much power or influence in the world. But it's important to pay attention to this and to understand it, because literally half of leftist politics these days is just an attempt to gaslight people into believing something is true when they know it is objectively false. Do these Satanists actually believe there's any sort of ritual happening, or that any of these characters are gay? No. But if enough people believe it's true, according to them...
Oh my god. What the fuck? I really just feel like Odin didn't say that. And it's so... Dude, these images are so fucking annoying to me, bro. And they're like, Pikachu said trans rights. No, he didn't. Pikachu says Pika-P. So you must have hallucinated that because he can't say anything else besides Pika-P, Pikachu. He just didn't say that.
It then becomes quote-unquote true. Another example is there are plenty of characters that are completely heterosexual, yet they're associated with homosexuality all the time because they constantly get shipped together. They're seen as gay, despite not actually being gay. Did the author decide that these characters are gay? No, the fandom did. If you have a large enough...
What the fuck are we looking at, bro? Oh my god. Deku! Oh, Kanchan! Oh, Sma! Like, what? Does Deku want Bakugo to Texas smash his asshole? I don't think that was in the manga at all. By the way, these are kids, by the way. You know, it's just a little strange. It's a little strange.
Of LGBT presence in a community.
I need to project my sexuality on these anime kids. All right. I mean, do what you want. It's not a crime, I suppose, but it is weird as fuck.
Community in a fandom, you can unofficially make characters associated with homosexuality. This can happen because the intentions of the creator are completely irrelevant. But the left is not the only one who can do this. What do you think of this? Hayasaka from Love is War. What do you think of when you see this character? Tell me,
bitch.
what is it that you actually see?
She a bad bitch.
If you spend enough time on Twitter, you know exactly who you're thinking of.
No, I don't. Wait, no, I don't. Who are we talking about?
You're thinking, of course, Kaguya's top gal.
Oh, yeah, I do know her. I know that account. They're based as fuck. Yeah, I know them.
That is a great example of people on the right taking symbols, characters, and associating them with ideas or ideologies on the right. Did the creator of the show intend for her to be used this way? Hell no. But it doesn't matter. Do you know why? Because with symbols, consent doesn't exist. It's all about the raw power, you say. Nothing else.
This is what we like, bitch!
That's just how the world works. But it gets even more interesting because
we need more Twitter accounts with anime girl profile pictures pushing extreme right propaganda. Dude, we need that. We need that. We need that so bad it's crazy. Okay? Hey, boys. It's your time to shine. Get in there and spread misinformation.
Covered characters, we've covered symbols, but it's also true for words. For example, the word gay. Gay has been shifting in its...
Bulma says 271,000 tops. Oh, man. Oh, man. Jesus. Tsunade says, I fully support ICE. Just like the Hokage, I want to get the Shadow Ninjas out of our country.
Meaning, for the past couple of hundred years, it's actually very fascinating. Gay up until the 1600s actually meant lighthearted, carefree, bright, happy, and interestingly enough, impulsive. Then after the 1600s, it then got a sexual connotation to it. But it's always been shifting in its meaning. It's actually a very unstable word, because sometimes it would be used instead of a pejorative. But then as times and attitudes shift, it then becomes a pejorative. Like,
I will say though, I find it a little bit jarring that the Shadow Ninjas and what's it called? The Shadow Ninjas in Leaf Village are only 13% of the population, but they're committing 62% of the violent crimes, right? Like, the genjutsu they have over the population to ignore that fact is insane.
Like, for example, the word homeless. Homeless is now an insult, but it was originally a word used to replace what we called bums. Bums had a negative connotation. People attempted to change that negative stigma by replacing the word bum with homeless.
Yeah, well, they're f***ing bums. I cannot believe that. Oh my God, these people are such pussies.
But you can't simply manipulate language willy-nilly however you decide with an agenda behind it and be successful. That's just not how the world works. Because over time, that word in itself will become stigmatized. That word in itself will become a pejorative, even if it was meant to become something positive. But as people's attitudes and minds constantly shift back and forth because it is a pendulum, so do the meanings of these words, so do the positive and negative connotations of those words. Because again, truth and original meaning have no place here. It doesn't matter. Now you might be asking from all of this, what is the point of this video? What does changing a character, a symbol, a word do in real-world politics? And I thought about that for quite a while, and then I realized that
It helps you manipulate idiots. That's what it does. If you can find someone who likes a character and then convince people that that character said that thing, idiots will follow. And the reality is 92, 93% of the world are fucking retards. They are. Everybody knows it. And if you control the idiots, you control the world.
it's a very backwards way of looking at it. And feel free to correct me if you believe I'm wrong here. But I think that all of this is simply a symptom, a result of the powers that be. A community claiming a symbol or a character doesn't win any sort of culture war. It is simply a result of a group of people, of a dominant ideology claiming something as their own. It is a symptom of political change and the effect of political powers, but not the changing force itself. Let me explain. Does Haseaka from Love is War being associated with the right on Twitter influence politics in any sort of way? No, because people's perception of this character is a direct result from this person's success on Twitter. It could have been done with any other character if they so decided. Therefore, do not make the mistake of confusing the symptoms of power, the results of power, with power itself. Are there any real-world effects that come from this? And I would have to say, 1, it acts as a morale booster. It is to tell your own side, hey, we claimed this character, this symbol, this word, it is our own now. It doesn't matter what it originally meant, it is ours now because we made it so. We took this thing because we are that powerful. It acts as a morale booster. And the second thing is, it acts as a way to measure and to see how powerful or influential a side has become, an ideology, a group of people, or even a person. It is a way of measuring and seeing how much influence they have. Going back to the original tweet, if they were able to claim Venerator as a gay person, that would reflect a very strong LGBT presence in that community, in that game. You could say that the fandom is gay. It is essentially...
Why do you think Genshin Impact and the Gacha fandom has so many fucking gays and transvestites? Because all they fucking do is just say, I think this character's gay. Actually, this one's lesbian only. Robin is actually a lesbian. Do you guys remember when they canceled me because I sexually assaulted Robin? A video game character who doesn't exist? So ever since then, I've had a fucking image of me and Robin on a lovely date together. I promise you, she was very consensual. But people will actually convince you that I was a rapist because I fucked Robin. The world has lost its mind, and we give these retards power every day. We don't call them out.
At the end of the day, ideological conquest. You are planting...
And then people started animating videos of me having sex with Robin, and that was based. That was mega based.
Planting your flag in the moon, or in a community, or in a fandom, and marking your territory. It is what the Satanic Temple tried to do with the Memorial Cross, but they failed because they don't have that much power in the real world. Nobody sees that as a satanic symbol. All of this is what we can gather from this information. This is what I've learned. Let me know what you think. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much to everybody.
I love Remnant 777 so much because he just has a way of explaining things in ways that I would have never, ever even remotely thought possible. He's a very great linguist. He's a very great speaker, and I believe that everybody should go subscribe to that channel. I think it's a great one.